Hey everyone, Caffeine Man here, and I want to know, how much caffeine do you drink in a day? Don't know? I'm here to help you find out. Today, I'm going to go over how much caffeine is in coffee, such as Dunkin' Donuts, Starbucks, Tim Hortons, and several more. I'm also going to go over how much caffeine is in tea, how much caffeine is in energy drinks, how much caffeine is in soda, and much more. All of it coming right up. Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to go over the heart and soul of what my channel is all about. I'm going to go over a majority of coffees, teas, and energy drinks and their caffeine count. And before I forget, if you like what you hear, be sure to click the like button, and if you want to stay informed on all things caffeine related, hit the subscribe button. We have a lot to go over, so no fun, no games, no nonsense. Let's get right to it. Okay, maybe a little nonsense. In general, when researching coffee, you'll find that 8 ounces of coffee have about 80 to 120 milligrams of caffeine in them. Now, I'm from the East Coast, and around here the biggest chain that we have is Dunkin' Donuts. In Rhode Island, you can actually buy a large iced coffee, leave, walk down the street, and hit another Dunkin' Donuts before you're even done with the first iced coffee. Now, I know a lot of you who aren't from around here are going to say, oh, this guy's exaggerating a little bit. But no, I'm not. It's true. Don't believe me? Go ahead and Google it. Type in Dunkin' Donuts, Mineral Spring Ave, Rhode Island, and you'll see. Boom! Told you so. In Massachusetts, there's actually a rotary where 3 out of the 4 exits have a Dunkin' Donuts on them. Then again, they were founded in 1950 in Quincy, Massachusetts. Therefore, they're biggest closest to home. And as of today, they have a little over 11,000 stores worldwide. Therefore, let's start with them and get right into it. Now get ready for some information overload. There's going to be a lot. Here we have all the sizes of the Dunkin' Donuts hot coffee. A small, who drinks that small of a cup? Anyway, a small is 10 ounces and it has 150 milligrams of caffeine. The medium size is 14 ounces, which has 210 milligrams of caffeine. The large is 20 ounces, which has 300 milligrams of caffeine. And if you decide to go for the great one that has 24 ounces, that's 359 milligrams. If you use dairy products, you're looking at between 15 to 35 milligrams less from small to extra large. Here we have all the sizes for their iced coffee. A small is 16 ounces, which has 198 milligrams of caffeine. Medium is 24 ounces, which has 297 milligrams of caffeine. And the large is 32 ounces, which comes in at 396 milligrams of caffeine. If you use dairy products, you can subtract anywhere from 20 to 40 based from a small to a large. And if you drink the cold brew, you can also subtract another 25 to 50 based on those numbers from small to large. Next, on to Starbucks. Starbucks opened in Seattle in 1971, and they started out just selling whole coffee beans. It wasn't until 1986 that they started to sell espresso. Since then, they continue to expand, not only their stores, but with the amount of drinks that they sold. And as of 2017, had over 27,000 stores worldwide. Here, we have all the sizes for their hot medium roast. A tall 12-ounce cup is going to be 235 milligrams of caffeine. The next size up, their grande, is 16 ounces, which has 310 milligrams. Lastly, their venti, which is their 20-ounce option, has 412 milligrams of caffeine. If you go with the dark roast, you can subtract 25 to 60 milligrams, ranging from tall to venti. If you use any sort of dairy products in your drinks, you can subtract between 20 and 50 milligrams based on the size. And here we have all the sizes for their iced coffee. A tall is 12 ounces at 120 milligrams of caffeine. The grande is 16 ounces, which has 165 milligrams of caffeine. The venti is 24 ounces, which has 235 milligrams of caffeine, and the Trenta is the 30 ounce, which has 280 milligrams of caffeine. If you use any sort of dairy in these drinks, you can subtract anywhere from 30 all the way up to 90 milligrams, according to the size. Next, we have all the sizes for the Tim Hortons coffee, or as I like to call it, Timmy. Their small cup is 10 ounces, which has 140 milligrams. Their medium is 15 ounces, which has 205 milligrams. Their large is 20 ounces, which has 270 milligrams, and their extra large is 24 ounces, which has 330 milligrams. If you use dairy products, you're looking between 20 and 40 milligrams less based on the size. And here are all the sizes of their iced coffee. A small is 16 ounces at 130 milligrams. A medium is 20 ounces at 170 milligrams. And a large is 32 ounces at 285 milligrams. If you use any dairy products in these, you can subtract 25 to 55 milligrams less from small to large. Timmy! Next is the McDonald's McCafe. Their small is an 8-ounce cup, which has 109 milligrams of caffeine. Their medium size is 12 ounces, which has 145 milligrams of caffeine. And their large is a 24-ounce, which has 180 milligrams of caffeine. Similar to the other ones, if you use dairy products, you're looking between 20 and 40 milligrams less from small to large. And here we have the sizes for their iced coffee. A small is 16 ounces at 133 milligrams. A medium is 24 ounces, which has 200 milligrams of caffeine. And their large is 32 ounces, which comes in at 320 milligrams of caffeine. If you use dairy products in your coffee, you can subtract anywhere from 25 to 55 from small to large. Now, I understand I didn't go over all the Starbucks drinks and all the Dunkin' Donuts drinks, and that's because there's far too many of them to go over in this video. But, like I said, feel free to subscribe. I do plan on doing a full video on all the Dunkin' Donuts drinks and another video on all the Starbucks drinks, as well as when they have new product releases. So let's talk iced tea. I'll start with some iced tea from the big guys, Coke and Pepsi. Coke has the Gold Peak line. Their sweet tea, unsweet tea, and extra sweet tea all come in at 23 milligrams, and it comes in an 18.5 ounce size. Their slightly sweet tea did drop down to 17 milligrams though. What about their green tea? That comes in at 20 milligrams. Pepsi has the brisk line, and this one here is the lemon, which comes in at 14 milligrams. And actually, all the Lipton iced teas, peach, lemon, and green, all come in between 24 milligrams and 26 milligrams of caffeine. Pure Leaf is also owned by Lipton, a Pepsi company, and their 18.5 ounce bottles come in with a little bit of a higher caffeine count than the brisk. Their sweet tea comes in at 69 milligrams, and their green tea comes in at 44 milligrams, which is a little bit high for a green tea. Next we have Snapple. Their regular flavors all come in a 16-ounce bottle and range around 37 to 38 milligrams of caffeine. What about the diet? Doesn't matter, have the same amount between 37 and 38 milligrams of caffeine. Their green tea has 23 milligrams of caffeine. McDonald's also has an iced tea. It's their sweet tea, and it comes in a 32-ounce cup, and it comes in at around 100 milligrams of caffeine. Starbucks also has some iced teas as well. Their shaken sweet tea comes in about 23 milligrams, their shaken black tea comes in at 28 milligrams, and their shaken green tea comes in around 28 milligrams. Their Teavana Mango Black comes in at about 55 milligrams. Last on my list for iced tea is Arizona. This Arizona can is 23 ounces and has about 23 milligrams of caffeine. For all the Arizona teas, Arizona claims that there's 15 milligrams of caffeine per 8 ounces in their black tea. When it comes to their green teas, they have 7.5 milligrams per 8 ounces. When it comes to soda, I'm going to stick with the 20-ounce bottles because it seems to be their most common size out there, and, according to Coke and Pepsi, one of the highest sellers, coming in second only to their 2-liter bottles. Third place is their 16.9 ounce, which I'm actually going to be using for visual purposes only. Once again, the bottles that I'm showing are for visual purposes only at 16.9, but the numbers for the caffeine count are going to be based on the 20-ounce bottles. First, we have Coca-Cola Classic, which comes in at 57 milligrams of caffeine. Next, we have the Coke Zero, which comes in at 57 milligrams as well. It's also a slightly healthier option because it has no sugar and no calories, if you can even consider soda to be healthy. Next, we have the Diet Coke, which comes in at 76 milligrams of caffeine. And lastly, we have the Sprite and the Fanta, which actually don't have any caffeine in them. Get out of here! Next, we have Pepsi. Pepsi comes in at 63 milligrams of caffeine. Diet Pepsi comes in at 59 milligrams. Next, we get the Mountain Dew and the Diet Mountain Dew, which come in at 91 milligrams of caffeine, which is a shock to many because we know Mountain Dew has a lot of caffeine in it. The big shock is actually Pepsi Zero, which you think would be the healthier option, similar to the Coke Zero. That's not the case. This Pepsi Zero has 115 milligrams, which is a decent amount more than the Mountain Dew. And lastly, not a Pepsi product, Dr. Pepper and Diet Dr. Pepper have 68 milligrams of caffeine. Now let's move on to energy drinks. When it comes to Red Bull, they have their 8.4 ounce size, which has 80 milligrams of caffeine. Next, they have their 12 ounce size, which has 114 milligrams of caffeine. This also includes all their special editions like coconut, blueberry, cranberry, tropical, and more. If you'd like to find out more about those drinks, check out my Red Bull video. I'll include a link down below. Lastly, for Red Bull, we have the 16 ounce, which is 160 milligrams. Next, we have Monster. Their 16 ounce can has 160 milligrams of caffeine. Their low carb can has 140 milligrams of caffeine. Zero Ultra by Monster, which has 0 calories in it, has 140 milligrams. Not shown here is Rehab Monster, which has 150 milligrams. It's sort of their flavored tea brand of Monster. And their coffee brand, Monster Java, is a 15 ounce bottle that has 188 milligrams. Rockstar, 16 ounces, is on par with the other energy drinks in the field at 160 milligrams. Next, we'll talk a little bit about tea. If you make your own tea at home, each company will have a different amount of caffeine per tea bag. One of the more common teas is the Lipton black tea. One tea bag makes about 8 ounces of tea, which has 55 milligrams of caffeine. And Bigelow tea has about 30 to 60 milligrams, so it's slightly less than the Lipton. And one of the competitors, Twinings, also has about 50 milligrams in their black tea. Next we have the green tea. Lipton green tea has about 35 milligrams of caffeine per 8 ounce cup. And in general, most of the green teas have between 30 and 35 milligrams of caffeine in them. And lastly, we have white tea. White tea, this one here is Tazo, but many of the white teas don't have much caffeine at all. They come in at between 12 and 18 milligrams per 8 ounce cup. So let's talk about homemade coffee for those of you who like to make your coffee at home. An 8 ounce cup of Folgers is going to run you about 95 milligrams. When it came to Maxwell House, it was a little bit hard to find the information, and I searched pretty hard, and it was between 80 and 100 milligrams for their original roast. Next, 8 o'clock coffee. They claim that their 5 ounce cup has between 70 and 155 milligrams, depending on how long it's brewed for, making it one of the highest caffeine counts of all the homemade coffees. Now I do say one of the higher ones, but it's not the highest. For those true coffee lovers and true caffeine lovers, the number one on the list is Deathwish Coffee. When it comes to Deathwish Coffee, they actually measure their caffeine content, not in 8 ounce cups, but 1 ounce at a time. Just 1 ounce of Deathwish Coffee contains 59 milligrams of caffeine. That's right, 1 ounce, 59. So what's that mean for an 8 ounce cup of coffee? That's right, 472 milligrams in an 8 ounce cup. Deathwish Coffee. Now as for Keurig's been on the market for several years now, and the longer that it's been out, more companies have been producing for it. Therefore, the caffeine counts are kind of all over the place with so many different companies participating. But on average, they range between 75 and 125 milligrams, which is your standard for most 8 ounce coffees. Phew, okay, so that's all I got for now. Now a lot of you may be asking, where did I get all this information from? The truth is, I have a photographic memory. Therefore, everything that I've ever read, I've remembered. I can't believe I said that with a straight face. The truth is, for every company, all that information is public knowledge, so you can find it on their website. I went to each company's website and got the accurate information so that you don't have to. In a few rare cases, I couldn't find any information, such as Maxwell House Coffee, but I did go to several different websites to confirm that information because I always want to provide you with the most accurate information. One of those websites is Caffeine Informer, and I'll include a link down below. Question of the day: how much caffeine do you drink? And did you know you drank that much or that little before this video? Let me know in the comments below. Now don't be shy. If you don't want to let me know what your caffeine content is, that's fine. But feel free to leave a comment below to let me know what you thought of this video. If you found it informative, I'd love to get your feedback. Once again, thanks for joining me. And if you want to keep informed on all things caffeine related, feel free to hit the subscribe button.